Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, he gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quick Bang. I'm Matty. Got Tracy, Dave, John, and Ray on today. Tracy, I'll start with you. It's Hibs 2, Livingston 0. How did you find the game?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good, especially second half. I thought first half we were playing some nice stuff as well, but obviously knew it was going to be tough with Livingston. They never give us an easy game, and it was, although they had a couple of chances throughout the game, it was more, we were pretty dominant, and it was really them 10 men behind the ball. I felt, especially the number 2, just wanted him to get out the way. He was like a brick wall. It's like, somebody move him. But yeah, no, it was it's good. I thought Boyler's goal was really good as well, and it was great to see Kevin on the score sheet as well.
And back, but we were talking just before we started here, back in your own seat for your season ticket.
Brilliant. Just, we've got really nice folk around us, and the guy that normally shouts, he's actually had to move up to the upper level. So result.
Happy days.
He moans about everything. And
Could you still hear him?
Oh, no, I couldn't actually, so that was even better. I mean, I remember we were winning 4-9, I think it was Queen of the South, and he was still moaning about stuff, and he was like, I pay my money and this. I'm like, but we're winning. And he just has to pick, and he always picks on a player. There's a player he picks on every game. Might not be the same player from week to week, and then it's always that player that gets man of the match. And then I have to just stand up and give them a standing because I just think it's just to wind them up. But no, it was brilliant being back and seeing everybody, and like being in the Hibs club first as well. It was brilliant seeing everybody.
It was good, especially post-COVID. Like, that's where I sit in the West, and I didn't want to, didn't mean this in an offensive way, but it's all old folk around about us. Like, I include myself in that these days, right? But after, considering why we've not been back, you're kind of having a look around just to make sure everybody's made it. Do you know, like in all seriousness? So it was nice. There's a right old guy behind us. He's always in quite early, and he came in, and I was like, oh, good, I'm glad, because he would have been one of the ones based at risk, I reckon. So, Dave, what about you? How was your experience today?
Same as what you were saying. Actually, it was really good to be back in our own seats, and just catching up with the people that you only really meet on a Saturday at the games and the rest of it. And like you're saying about the old guys missing, there was a guy that's always sat on the end of a row, even when there was only like 6,000-7,000 us at the games back in the horrible days, and he wasn't there the day, but his son was just like, oh, he just had a head knock, he'll be back next week, he's fine, all the rest of it. And you get that kind of thing, like, oh God, I hope he's coming back, But to the game, I thought Livingston were everything I expect them to be. I think they're going to struggle this season. They've not got the players that they maybe had. They don't have the output ball to jet anymore and all the rest of it. And I thought we were. I mean, it was stuffy at the beginning because it's like basically they were playing like 5-4-1 or something the majority of the game, right? Yeah. So really tight to try and break them down. I thought we tried our best to get there. What was slightly disappointing was every ball that came to Boyle on the right hand side, he was cutting into his left hand side, and he kind of kicked the ball with his left foot. Right, and I know we've had this discussion many times about players that kind of kick the ball with both feet, and it drives you insane, right? And it's like, just swap him with the other side. Because every time the ball comes to him, he flicks it with his right, and you're like, just well, get him on the other side, and that would have maybe made a bit of difference early doors. But it was hard to break them down. I thought the second half, I thought the goal for Nisbet was fantastic from him. Takes the ball and turns the player, holds the player off. And I'd had a chat with a guy on the concourse just at half time, and an older guy was just saying, I can't believe we're offered more money to that Nisbet guy. He's an absolute huddy. He's so lightweight. He can't keep the ball up. Can't do nothing. And I was like just everything he does there is he does that week in week out though. The laddie's quality deserves any contract extension or uplift he's going to get. Generally, I thought defensively we were strong today. I know they only generally played one up, but when they did come up, we were pretty strong on the even on the fullbacks as well. And they've had a lot of stick in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But I thought McGinn especially was solid, absolutely solid. And I know he didn't have like any massive pacey winger against him or the rest of it, but what he did well. I thought Doig did well as well. They took a couple of knocks, but they still worked hard. Defensively, Porto and Big Daz had very little to deal with, but what they did well. I think we missed Newell in the middle of the park. So when we get the ball, when Barrels gets the ball and he's looking for that wee simple pass out ball, I'm going to keep saying Barrels, and it's going to catch on eventually, right? Right. When he's looking for that wee out ball to do the wee 1-2s, there's no player there. Right? And you find that McGuinness comes a wee bit deeper, and I didn't really want McGuinness to come deeper. I want him pushing up and pressing up the game. Right. So I think when Newell comes back in, I think it'll really improve us. The substitution with Murphy going off, I have to be honest, I didn't understand Alan coming on. Right. And I totally get the idea of like, oh, he's a ball player, he can maybe split the defence and all the rest of it, but it never really happened. And I know he set up the second goal, right? But apart from that, did he do any more than McGuinness would do in that area? I don't think he did. Right. So I think he's going to struggle to get into our first 11 from now on. Right. I still think there's a space for him in the squad, but he's never getting in that first 11 if we've got the standard 11 that we think is the starting 11 for us. But overall, great performance. The goal from Boyle was quality, and again a great wee touchback for Alan. Well done for Boyle, just a wee flick over the top. But a composed game. You know, this is the kind of game we would have lost maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, where they were hard to break down and we couldn't break them down, and we never looked shaky at any point. We just kept at them. We know it's coming, and I felt that from the fans as well. Again, in the past, you might have got a few boos because we were 0-0 at half time and the rest of it, but I still thought we were in control of the game. Right, and it's just going to have to wait. It's going to come. And once you score, they'll come out of it, and we'll get a few more gaps and we'll get a few more chances. And you know, with that in mind, it's a good 3 points. We're top of the league. There's lots to like about it, and there's lots of players to come back, and long may it continue.
Yeah, Tracy, your hand up there.
Yeah, no, it was just when Dave touched on the support there, and I thought the supporters were absolutely fantastic today. I thought the atmosphere was brilliant, even in the famous 5 lower. I mean, the kids were all singing. It was just a really great atmosphere. Even Lucy was, because there was more people singing, so she was singing more as well, and she was up cheering. I just thought it was a really good atmosphere, and I felt the support were really getting behind the team today as well. So great.
It's good when you hear the kids shouting in the famous 5 with their high-pitched voices, but I actually think one of the Livy defenders, there was a throw-in to Hibs, and I reckon he was higher pitched than all of the kids there put together. It was like it's like somebody had snuck Mickey Mouse onto the pitch to organise Livy's defence. John, I'm loving your training top there. That's a smart one. You were in your new seat in the West Upper today. How did you find it?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. I was excited. I was in the ground before 2 o'clock.
In your prawn sandwiches.
With prawn sandwiches from champagne. No waiter service, right? I'm not happy, but it was good. You get to see the game a bit more wide open. It's really good views. You get to see it a lot more. I thought we were really good today. Livingston were just horrible, dirty, cheating bastards. That's all they were. They were just, oh man, they're horrible. And I can't be bothered with that kind of football, As we're saying, I think they'll struggle. I'm not going to, I think, without Gogic in the team today, we were a lot better. We played more attacking kind of style football. And Gogic is good for certain games, but I thought today, with him being out and having an attacking midfield, we looked really good. That young James Scott, I watched him last week against Dundee. He looked really good. He was pacey all over the place. Today he was a wee bit quiet, but I think once he gets a few more matches under his belt, he's going to be really good for us going forward, hopefully. But second half, again, the atmosphere, having the singing section in the East Stand, I was a lot better. I thought it was really good. The famous 5, obviously they were in the singing section when I was there, but having it in the East Stand now and you're right across it, it just kind of echoes around the ground. It's a lot better. But again, today's performance, I thought, as Dave was saying, we're more compact, we're more, the threat's there to do the damage. It's just getting that final ball. We missed Doig for his hard work. You kind of notice that up front. You need someone that's going to do the running, the grafting, and set it up. But I think it was a good 3 points today. And as again Dave says, we would have probably lost that a couple of games, seasons ago. Again, Dundee were unlucky last week, but today we've bounced back, and it's amazing what one or two wee changes can do to the team, man.
I agree with what you said about Livingston. Josh, when we were standing, he says, I hate watching teams like this that they just fall over all the time, and they're either kicking you or falling over. There's no football for them. And I thought Livy were at it all through the game. Even when they went 1-0 down, they were still like playing for time and everything. You thought, why he's doing that? But I said it, I think, I can't remember if it was on Longbangers, if it was on one of the quick bang shows that we're doing. I think Martindale's way out his depth. Like he had like a really lucky start with Livingston that he put loads of wins on the board. But I think he's hardly won a game since that. Like in the first 12 games, he won 11 or something. I think he's won 3 or 4 since then. I think Livingston will struggle as well, John. I think you're spot on there. Ray, what were you? How was your take on the game?
I think that most people have covered it really. My sentiments are pretty much exactly what everyone's been saying, but you know what, we're very, I think professional is probably the best way to put it. We had to put up with a team putting loads of men behind the ball. We had to put up a team that was time wasting. We had some remarkable refereeing decisions. One of which should have went against us, incidentally. I think it was Big Daz completely took the boy out after he'd made an arse. And the ref didn't even give a foul. And I'm sort of looking at it going, that's a yellow card. Oh, no, that's a yellow card. So, hey, we can moan about the referees, yeah, but sometimes you get them. As far as I'm concerned, I think it was a really good performance. I felt that Boyle was very good, and Dave touched it absolutely. Swap sides, let him come in on his right hand side, because it was quite apparent on 2 or 3 occasions that he took the ball, and if he dropped his shoulder and dropped into the left and got his shot off with his left foot, it was almost like, you've got a goal there, Martin. You've got a goal. He didn't. He elected to go onto his right because that's his favoured foot. There was also a couple of times where he would possibly, instead of just having a shot, he would take another touch to try and get it onto his right. Now, I love you, Martin. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, maybe if you were to swap his sides, you would then be able to do that a bit more readily, given the attention that he was receiving from them. I felt number 6 was good, actually. Their centre half, Abaye, I think it is. I thought he was quite good, and both our centre halves were very good.
Yeah,
both our centre halves played extremely well, and I thought young Josh Doig was brilliant. I thought it was a toss-up for me between him and the man who actually got man of the match, McGuinness, yeah. There was a toss-up for me between those two as to who would get that accolade, and McGuinness deserved it, to be fair. But I thought Josh Doig was wonderful.
I thought McGuinness had a really good game, just especially the second half. He seemed to really kind of grow into it, started pulling strings, and some of his touches, just like dropping the shoulder and turning players.
Some of his tackles, Matty, are phenomenal. They're just, he's got an ability to get in behind and get his foot into the ball in front of a player and scoop the ball away. So it doesn't look like much, but it's an incredibly hard skill to be able to essentially adjust your body weight so you get in beneath the guy almost and take the ball away as that player's moving. Now, it's incredibly easy to give away fouls if you don't do it right. He can do that. He's very good at
it. Yeah. Tracy, McGuinness got the man of the match. You happy with that? Would you have had anybody else as a contender for it?
Yeah, probably a bit like Ray. I thought Josh was brilliant as well. There's actually quite a lot of good performances, but I think Kyle probably was just the standout. I think, it's like we've got a new player. Obviously, because we haven't been injured last season, we didn't really see it. We just got little glimpses of him, and a lot of the support were kind of writing him off. And now, obviously, it's like we've got a new player. Same with Murphy as well. It's like, obviously, hopefully his injury's not too bad. But again, it's like you've got a brand new player there as well. So although we maybe haven't made lots of signings, we've got players that have come back, and of course Chris Cadden looks like he's coming back as well. So yeah, I think lots of positives, but yeah, probably Kyle was just the kind of standout for me.
Nice one. Ray, you had your hand up there.
Yeah, it was just if you can get a message to Kyle, he actually let me down because I had Hibs to win 2-0 and Boyle and McGuinness to score. So I'm disappointed with him.
Boyle's got, I think they said on the radio, he's the first player to score in the opening 4 Premiership games. So I don't know if that's like ever or just for Hibs or whatever, but they mentioned it on the radio. If that's an interesting wee stat, but he's in great form, isn't he?
He's playing
Absolutely
well,
fantastic finish. Not that there was anything wrong with the finish. Finish was superb, but the build-up play to that was phenomenal. It was right in front of us. I was fortunate. I was in the famous 5. We were able to see it. So there was a little triangle going on in the build-up to that went through maybe 2 or 3 phases of play before the little back heel, and it was a joy to watch. I mean, it's Hibernian FC teaching Barcelona how to do it for 150 years, you know.
And Dave, you're always like a big advocate of the defence. Macy, I think, had no saves to make today. I don't remember him saving anything.
Did everything right. He actually came out for a decent cross ball, and he took it quite well. He's full 6'7". Just poked it out of the clouds, and he did absolutely brilliant. So, I think when you're in a position like that as a goalkeeper, then obviously it's just concentration.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have had a go at his kickouts and the rest of it. That'll come. That'll come. I have no issue at all with Matt Macy. I think he's a top class goalkeeper for our league, right? And that's all we're looking for. Right? I think his distribution needs to improve. And people having a go at him saying he has to come out and command boxes all the rest of it, that's down to a coaching thing, a managerial thing. Has he been told to do that? I don't know if he has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More importantly, we need to get back to what we did, last season, where those crosses didn't come in, where we didn't lose headed goals. We don't massively just suddenly lose headed goals because the goalkeeper changes.
Yeah.
Right. And the centre halves are the same generally, right? So it's down to the way we've changed, and we have changed our formation, and I think people massively forget that. Right, a lot of the time we played that 3-5-2, and you had Boyle coming back, and you had Doy coming back on the left hand side, right? And you'd end up with 5 at the back, right? You're still playing with like a 4 with your 2 fullbacks going forward, so you do leave yourself open, right? And with the greatest will in the world, if you've got a speedy winger up against McGinn, he's going to get done, right? And that's nothing against McGinn, right? Because Boyle would run past McGinn in a 100-metre sprint every day of the week. And you wouldn't expect him to be up and all the rest of it, right? And even Doig, who's fast, if the winger's got a run on you, you're not going to catch him. So you either accept the fact that we're going to play this new progressive forward attacking football, and we're going to lose a few more goals, or we go back to playing slightly more conservative, right, and try and nick goals here and there, right?
Aye.
And for me, I'm sticking with what we've got. 4-2-3-1 is the way forward for this team. And I know we played it slightly differently today because of people missing, but I love the 4-2-3-1 that we're playing at the start of the season.
John, there was some criticism last season about it being boring. Do you think now that we're all back at the game, folk are seeing a different side of this Hibs team?
Definitely. I think the crowd today, I noticed that when the singing section got loud and the other stands joined in, Hibs were getting that wee bit more of an edge. They were kind of more on the attack a bit more, and I was like, bit of coincidence this, but I think the atmosphere and that it's given and the way Hibs are playing, they're getting the fans on board, and we're seeing what we're doing, and I think that's making a massive difference. Last year, I mean, I'd have paid to play behind closed doors.
Aye,
that must be that. I think mentally that's probably had an effect. Look at Rangers playing in crowds and they're not winning many games. But I think with Easter Road, that's we're playing some really good football, and I'm happy to keep going the way we're going. Jack Ross, when he came in, I was looking forward to what he could do. Last year with the 2 semi-finals and the final, I kind of sat on the fence a wee bit, but this year he's put out a master plan out his bag, and he's actually had the bottle to go and get us. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's got the bottle to get us to go and play attacking football, to play the way we're playing, and the fans are liking it. And you win the fans over, it makes his job a wee bit easier.
Aye, everything's better. I went out this morning with the dog. I posted this on Twitter. We've got a wee set of goals in the back garden.
We're spot on, eh?
Aye, he dropped 2 wee tollies. I thought that's it. There's 2 goals for Hibs. So I think that's going to be my new
Tell me you
ritual
backed it.
going forward. Dave, you put your hand up there, so I'll come at you, and then we'll get some predictions for the derby for next week before I have to
Did you
take my
back it
dugout
though?
there.
Did you back the 2-0?
No, if I did it, we wouldn't have got it. I'm
No,
the
that
biggest
was
jinx
classic.
ever with
I know.
betting.
It was just on the thing about the fans coming back. I found it really interesting on the forum this morning. There were still people saying that they reckon there's quite a large number of fans that haven't taken to the team under Jack Ross, which I find that astounding. Right, I think the football's been terrific. Right, even when it was tough last year and the tough games we had and all the rest of it, right, I think he plays a really expansive game of football. He knows when to defend and all the rest of it, right. And if you're not liking that football, you're just not liking football. It's just, you know, I can get the fact that people have just had too much of it, or I've got used to not going during lockdown and all the rest of it, right. And they've just said, "Oh, I'm not going to go anymore. I'm just going to watch it on the telly, whatever." Right, that's fine. Right, but don't claim it's anything to do with the football. It's nothing to do with the football. There's no reason at all for any fan that supports Hibs right now not being fully behind this team, because we're playing open, expansive football. It's great to watch. Right, we've got great building blocks. Right, and we're struggling with injuries, and we've still got players coming in.
Yep.
And you'll still have people screaming about where's the centre halves, where's the defence, why are we announcing pies with no sign of centre back? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's coming together, and we should be really happy where we are right now compared to where we were it wasn't that long ago.
Dave,
we got relegated.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you 100%. What I would say is I've got a theory about this, and it's people watch too much football these days, and they see, I don't know, they see Barcelona, they see Real Madrid, they see the English Premiership, and they see players who are of a much better pedigree than we have. Let's be perfectly honest. Right, so they think that they can turn up at Easter Road and see something of that ilk. Well, I'm sorry, you're supporting the wrong team.
Exactly.
If that's what you want, you go somewhere else, because you're not going to see that at Easter Road. As much as we would love to see it, and we'd love, you know, it would be tremendous to be able to say that we run a game like Barcelona in their heyday. That's not going to happen, because I passed comment to my son today about Boyle making those little mistakes. And then I quantified that by saying, well, look, if he was the sort of player that could take that ball on his left foot and strike it on his left foot immediately, he wouldn't be playing for Hibs.
Indeed.
It's right last year, the semi-final against St Johnstone, we got beat. We threw everything at them. We were playing some good football. We got a sucker punch before half-time. St Johnstone got the momentum going. But today, watching Jack Ross and that coming out the dugout, he was giving the players instructions, he was clapping his hands at them, getting them motivated. And I was like, he never really done much of that last year at a point A, but this year he's out, he's got the players, he's telling them, giving them instructions, and he's quite active. And
John, what he's incredibly good at is changing the setup, changing the formation, moving things around to adapt to the game, and the players are good at doing that for him as well. And that's what we should be really looking at, because the ability to change the game as it's in progress. So don't stick rigidly to a 3-5-2 or a 4-2-3-1, whatever it may be. It's this ability to change the game as it's progressing, as the needs require.
Okay, right. Well, first versus second. We're obviously first in 12 days' time. Dave, very quickly, a score prediction for you.
Against who?
Hibs Hearts.
Are we playing Hearts, are we?
Aye, that's the next game.
This is just for the forum. It's just another game. Right. We'll pump them.
Right.
3-0.
Score 3-0.
3-0.
Have we ever won 3-0?
Hanlon with a right foot goal. There you go.
We'll take that. Tracy?
Oh, God. God, it's at Tynecastle as well, which is just a nightmare. And form just goes out the window. They can be the worst possible team and still beat us sometimes. But I do have confidence in this team and the way we're playing. So I'm going to go 2-0 Hibs.
2-0 Hibs. So the last two at Tyney been 2-0 Hibs? With the Boyle double and
think so, aye.
And then
double.
Horgan, wee Horgan.
There must
aye.
have been one in between them, I suppose.
I know.
But
Poor guy got my hot chocolate over his white trainers because my
Did he?
foot dad knocked it out my hand when he was celebrating.
you'll not bother away. You take it for that.
That player they've got, that player they've got that starts with a B, I can't remember his name. Right, the guy they've got from down south. He's a quality player. He could be the difference in that game, but hopefully we can take him out.
John, how do you see that game going?
2-1 Hibs and Hearts to get a man sent off.
I'll take that as well. And Ray, last word to you.
I honestly think it's absolutely referee dependent. If we get a referee that stops teams fouling, attacking players, and lets us play the game that we can play, and it doesn't allow them to kick us off the park and just prevent us from playing, we'll win that game easily. We'll win that game probably by 2 goals. If we don't get that referee, they'll probably win 1-0.
Aye. All right, let's hope we've got a good referee for it. We're back. There's a short bangers to come out tomorrow from Friday, and then we'll have long bangers on Monday. And then no quick bang until the derby then. So hopefully see you guys back for that. In the meantime, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
County line I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't